Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. It's been quite a while since I've recorded a video. I think today of this recording it's the 11th or 12th of November. It's chapter 3. To give you context, all I know, this is so sad, that the only reason why I know what the date is, even though I probably got the date wrong of recording this, is that chapter 3 of Flux, Doctor Who Flux, is airing today, Once Upon a Time, and that, so yeah, before I forget, just rambling and raving about Doctor Who figures and or shelves stuff in this video, but before I forget, there's like carrying case thing with just like all of the accessories, and then a box as well of just even more accessory bits and pieces and stuff. These aren't all of my action figures, but these are just the ones that are on these 4 shelves, and I just thought I'd, as I say, do a video just to rant and rave about them, because hopefully someone out there on the internet likes this. I don't know, but yeah, even if no one does, maybe I'll get some pleasure out of narcissistically listening to myself narcissistically ramble about Doctor Who for the umpteenth time. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, the most recent, newest additions to the collection are some of these 1960s Doctor Who figures. So, you know, your variant of Hartnell, even though the trousers on him were controversial, apparently. And no, this isn't a young Nigel Farage. It's Ian Chesterton, although I think I made that same joke in the review that I did. Yeah, and then there is some Vord, just checking if that Vord had a knife to Hartnell, which he did, and now Hartnell's thingy, walking stick's gone. Cool. You've got some 60s Cybermen and that, and then you've got the Sensorites right at the back. Nice to have some variation other than just, you know, Cybermen, because that would all be what's there, and all Daleks, but yeah, there aren't many Daleks or stuff, spoiler alert for later shelves, unfortunately, on here, but yeah, there's a little bit of a reason for that, but I'll divulge that maybe later down the line, or reveal that later down the line, I guess. You've got some, other than these sorts of Hartnell, Ian, and some Vord, some Cybermen, and the Sensorites, then you immediately move into the Pat Troughton era with the Cybermats and the Tomb of the Cybermens, as well as the Invasion ones, as well as the TARDIS, the most recent TARDIS exterior box to be released, I think, of this recording. The Hartnell box, exterior box, I haven't seen one anyway in B&M, and then he's got the fur coat. Then you've got your standard sort of, these aren't in, this shelf is not in episodic sort of order, and that, so yeah, like, it's all probably jumbled up, so if you're really that OCD, sorry. You've also got an Ice Warrior at the back, just leaned on the wall because his feet, it never stands up. You've got another Pat Troughton with the recorder, I want to say, not the flute. I always get the two mixed up. Another Hartnell, and then you've got the third Doctor, because I was doing a little homage to the 3 Doctors. R.I.P. Bob Baker, or Barker. Yeah, R.I.P. him, unfortunately, he passed away. Not this Friday, but Friday before, or last even. You've got Omega, you've got one of the Gel Guards. Now you've got Sarah from Monsters of Peladon. You've got Roger, Naxon, Sea Devil, and then all the unit boys. I wanted to get a pistol for him, but I couldn't find the pistol for the Brigadier. Which is a nice segue into, of course, the Tom Baker shelf, the homage to my favourite Doctor. You've got Tom, you've got Sarah, and then you've got Harry, you know, the quintessential Season 12 crew, as well as the TARDIS in the background there. You've got Steyer, is it, from Sontaran Experiment, the Brigadier, as well as Harry in the background, the K1 robot as well. These ones I did try and make more episodic, sort of, them, yeah, in the episodic chronological order. You've got the Davros from Genesis of Daleks, as well as then the Revenge of the Cybermen. Unfortunately, a lot of them have the feet are a bit wobbly, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, or like the legs are. So I only have the one that could actually stand up. I have the other two. You've got a unit soldier. You've got Tom in the Scottish getup, as well as a Zygon. And another unit soldier I've only just realised is there. You've also then got your Pyramids of Mars, Tom, Mummy, and those are it really for Pyramids of Mars for me. I unfortunately never did get the set with Sutekh and those two ones with the gold bands across the chest. You've got a Deadly Assassin Master, and then you've got your Vok robots. I've got like 2, maybe 4 even in total, but the other 2, I just thought this time around, instead of having 3 or 4 on the shelf, I just have 2, CV7, and then I think that's D84, the dumb one, even though it's actually quite nice. There's a Dalek Eye stock there, but that's just because I forgot to put it back into the case of doom. You've got Leela, who unfortunately has one longer leg than the other, and therefore one shorter than the other even, so she's blue tacked. Yay. You've got Romana 1, played by Mary Tam, who, funnily enough, did a drama training, went to drama school in Bradford, which is weird. It's up north. You've got Tom from sort of season 16, 17-ish, as well as the City of Death Tom, even though he's in the Shada box and is looking into the TARDIS box, which is a bit weird. Not my favourite TARDIS exterior box, but to be honest, as a toy as a toy or like a collectible toy thing, it's actually, I quite like it because it's so different and unique and just sort of funky, for lack of a better term. You've got Romana 2, played by the amazing Lalla Ward, who, I'll be honest, spoiler alert, I like more than Mary Tam. You've got beaten up K9, unfortunately, the battered version there. You've got Matt Smith there because, actually I'll get to him in a minute. You've got the Burnt Crispy Master, played by Jeffrey Beavers from Keeper of Traken, as well as the Clock. This time I didn't want the anemic Tom Baker action figure or the Melker, I think, statue on the shelf. I instead opted for a really cool, in my humble opinion, Day of the Doctor homage with the likes of the Series 7 Part 2 or Part B or whatever the kids are calling it these days. Matt Smith, as well as the Gallifrey Falls No More painting 3D thing, which I really love. And then your Curator action figure at the back there as well. And then after your Tom Baker homage, you skip Peter Davison, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your personal preference. I've never really liked Peter Davison's Doctor myself, spoiler alert. But then you move on to the next shelf, which has Colin and Perry and Sylve in the the chariot thing. I guess the only homage to the Peter Davison years is this one lone epic Earthshock Cybermen that I have from back in the day, back in the good old days when the classic series, was firing on all cylinders because it had only just been released. You've also got the 7th Doctor from season 26 in the brown coat, as well as Ace with a rocket launcher. Then you've got your 8th Doctor from the TV movie, as well as the War Doctor. And then you move into the RTD era with the TARDIS box, the original TARDIS box from like 9th/10th Doctor, sort of original from the toy line. You can tell because it's so dusty at the top. You've got the Slitheen, you've got the 9th Doctor, and then, as well, I forgot to mention with the War Doctor, you've got the Moment on display, as well as the Dalek Mutant set on top, which I think is kind of apt, really, considering, he's fighting the Daleks. The 9th Doctor, and then that's about it, really, for my first ever Doctor from my childhood. Then you've got your 10th Doctor, which is probably the best version of the 10th Doctor that I personally have in my collection, so hence the reason why it's displayed. I think I got it from a Dr. Dalek 2-pack from Toys R Us way back in the day, because I'd done well at GCSEs, and by that I mean I'd not hurt myself or anyone else. Is probably what my mum meant. You've got a Sycorax Warrior, still love that, Weeping Angel at the back there, and a Time Lord from Series 3, as well as then a Vashta Narada from Series 4. You've randomly got a Scovox Blitzer from the 3.75 inch figure range, because I like that one. That and the Mummy from Mummy on the Orient Express are probably the two figures from that range that I like the most. Or that and the Series 7 Sidemen. I think the monsters were good from that wave, it was just the human characters sucked balls. You've also got K9 as well. At the back you've got a Jadoon, as well as Jadoon Captain Plonk. I don't know what the name is. Fugitive, the Jadoon Captain Woman. You've got Time Lord, and then I'm trying to dodge the bullet here, but in case the hashtag not my Doctor Lot kill me for having a homage to the Jodie Whittaker era. I have the Jodie Whittaker box, which I think is a TARDIS exterior box. I think is gorgeous. I've also got her there. You've got, for lack of a better term, the fam, the original fam. You've got Graham, you've got Ryan, you've got Yaz, you've got the 13th Doctor with the bum bag or fanny pack, and then you've got K9, because I just think that the 13th Doctor would work so unbelievably well with K9, but it's probably not going to happen because, unfortunately, Bob Baker passed away, and R.I.P. Bob Baker, and Bob Barker, or whatever the second name is, I can never remember, but a lot of legal reasons why he probably won't pop up in the series anytime soon. I just think she would be so good with, K9, considering how well she was in Kablam with, Twirly, So that's the third shelf, and then there's the fourth and last one, which some of you might not like because it's just a random assortment of other nerdy rubbish that I like that isn't Doctor Who for a change. But yeah, you've got a die-cast R2-D2, you've got a vintage maybe, potentially, Bib Tuna, little dude behind Mando, big rifle, Mando's big rifle, or Mando in his non-Beskar armour from Mandalorian. You've got a little Yoshi car, Imperial hover tank driver there. You've got your Mando in his Beskar armour, but then between the two you've obviously got the armour, which makes logical sense. You've also got Zori Blitz. These are all Black Series figures. Zori Blitz from the Rise of Skywalker. She's probably one of the cooler, newer designed characters in my humble opinion. But then again, you've got Bo-Katan, who is an absolute badass, and she's just about to grab both blasters and shoot at us, because she's a badass. So yeah, that's why I put them sort of there, because he's a bad guy, he's a good guy, she's a good guy, kind of, sort of, maybe. Depends on who you ask. You've also got a random Oddish from Pokemon, you've got a Mario, and you've got a Rockman / Mega Man from the Mega Man games, you've got an Inkling from Splatoon, you've got a random Ben 10 action figure, and then you've also got Wally from the Disney film WALL-E. The last sort of miscellaneous thing is some Rick and Morty action figures, Morty, Rick, and Mr. Meeseeks, look at me, and then you move into Marvel stuff. Random Marvel figure my mum was awesome enough to get us from eBay, Groot, Spider-Man dude from my support worker, one of his kids, toys from when they were kids, cool. I also got this one, Marvel Legends, I think it is, Ant-Man from Cosmic Toys. For 10-15 quid, not boxed, so loose. I also got that Marvel Selects Hulk for 30 quid, I think, from Cosmic Toys. I also got She-Hulk, Marvel, that one was a Marvel Selects, that one was Marvel Legends, I think the She-Hulk was Marvel Legends. I've reviewed the Marvel Legends She-Hulk on the channel, that was 15-20 quid, or anywhere between 15 and 25 quid, I think, figure. The Rick and Morty ones, and then the last sort of figure that is on the shelf is the Marvel Select Deadpool, which even came with this really cool little diorama-y bit of floor with a bajillion bullets, and then a wall, part of a wall with a bajillion bullet holes in it, and that sort of thing. And then there are little bullet shells on the floor, sort of thing, and a peg bit for him to stand on, sort of thing. And came with the swords and the gun and the katanas and the this and the that, and yeah, just a really cool figure. So yeah, it's kind of mad to think like I've never paid more than £30 for any action figure, because I think I've done pretty well in that sense, you know, in terms of like the quality of them. I know most people hate the Doctor Who figures because they're pretty crap, but one, I'm a massive Doctor Who fan, and so obviously I'm ever so slightly biased, and two, I think, yeah, they're not the best in terms of like maybe articulation or sometimes the detail, but like considering that the price at which they're at, it's like, you know, I think the Daleks are pretty goddamn good, considering that they're 20 quid each, or 20 quid for a 2-pack, whereas, you know, for one Marvel Select, not Marvel, Star Wars Black Series figure, you're paying sort of like 20 or like 25 quid for one figure, or sometimes if it's a deluxe figure, then you're paying like 30 or 40 quid for 30 or 40 pounds for one figure. So, but then again, it is coming with like a shit ton of accessories, so it's like, you know, quality over quantity sometimes as well, you know, with some of these other figure ranges, I suppose. But as I say, this is the sort of Star Wars / Marvel / miscellaneous gaming, random gaming stuff as well. I mean, I do also have a Cyberpunk 2077 Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves character from that game, but I couldn't be asked for putting him on here and that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, these are pretty much all of my Marvel superhero figures. It's definitely all of my main sort of Star Wars figures and that. Like, there is a K2SO that's like a diecast one, but because he's diecast, he just never stands up properly. There's like one DC figure that I have in my collection, in my action figure collection, which is like Supergirl, and that's it. I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know if I should have added her here. I don't know, you could comment below if you want me to add her. I could always just add her there, I guess. And that, I mean, nice sort of addition might be her and then the Polka Dot Man, who I'm hopefully going to be getting for Christmas, hopefully this year. But yeah, these are all just like some shelves in my room that I just thought I'd do a video about for some strange reason, because I'm really strange. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate and subscribe to the channel.